Hola, bienvenidos a la clase de español. So in this video, I'm going to explain the concept of conjugation. Conjugation is one of these kind of basic concepts that you really need to master in Spanish 1 to go on to higher levels of Spanish, Spanish 2 and beyond, and be successful. So conjugation is basically how we form sentences. In a sentence, all you need is a subject and a verb. The verb is the action word. Run, dance, sing, cry, any of those words. Those are all verbs. And the subject is who's doing the verb in the sentence. I run. I am the subject. Run is the verb. Carlos goes to the store. Carlos is the subject. He's the one doing the going. And goes is the verb. You can tack on a lot of stuff to a sentence, but fundamentally, all you need to have a complete sentence is a subject and a verb. Okay, so in English, our verbs don't change that much. So if we've got the verb to dance, for example, to dance. Now, side note, this to version of the verb, to dance, this is called the infinitive. The infinitive. This is the base form of the verb before we have conjugated it. In English, let's say, if the verb is to dance, we're going to conjugate it like this. I dance, you dance, he, she, it dances. So he dances, she dances, Carlos dances, it dances, maybe I don't know. We dance, and they dance. We dance, they dance. So I dance, you dance, he, she, it dances, we dance, they dance. The verb doesn't really change that much. The only one that's different is this he, she, it form. So in English, it's really important to have the I, the you, the Carlos, the we, to tell you who's doing the verb. Spanish is a little bit different. So in Spanish, to say to dance, we're going to say bailar, to dance. Bailar. In Spanish, all verbs end in AR, ER, or IR. So what we have here is an AR verb. It ends in AR, and that's going to tell us how to conjugate it. Bailar. So if we want to say I dance, we're going to say bailo. Bailo. You dance is bailas. He, she, or it dances is baila. We dance is bailamos. And they dance is bailan. So you can see it's different in every single form. The ending is different. The I endings, if I'm talking about myself, bailo is I dance. You dance, bailas. He dances, baila. She dances, baila. Carlos dances, Carlos baila. We dance is bailamos, amos, and they dance bailan. So because it's different in every single form, we actually don't even need to write a separate subject. We already know what the subject is because it's built into the ending. And adding on these different endings, that's conjugation. All right, now of course, this is all still English, so let's update that. How do you say I in Spanish? Yo. Yo bailo. You, two. Two bailas. What about he, she, or it? He is él, and she is ella. And Spanish actually doesn't have a separate word for it. It's just él and ella. All right. What about we? Nosotros is for we, and ellos, ellas for they. It's a masculine form and a feminine form. Now, Spanish makes it a little bit more complicated because there are two different versions of you. Two is the informal you. It's the one you use with your friends or close family members or your pet. You use usted when you're speaking more formally to someone. It could be a teacher, your boss, someone who's older than you, someone you want to show more respect to. And in Mexico and much of Latin America, you just default to usted with anyone when you meet them for the first time. And then once you get to be friends, you have a little conversation and switch to tu. But usted, even though it means you, we don't put it up here with this you because the conjugation, the ending that we use for it, is the same as el and ella. So that's why we put it down here. And then we've got ustedes, which is the plural of usted. And anytime you're talking to a group of people, you can use ustedes. And again, even though ustedes means you, and ellos and ellas mean they, we put it in this box because they have the same ending when they conjugate the verb. So that's the basics of conjugation. Now, let's go through another example to kind of lock it in. So I've left the endings up here because the endings are going to stay the same. That's part of the beauty of conjugation. Let's go with the verb cantar, to sing. So again, cantar is an AR verb, and the first step in conjugating a verb is to take off that AR or ER or IR ending. So we're going to do it this way. All right, so that leaves us with cant. This is called the stem or the root after we've taken off that ending. And this is what we're going to tack these conjugation endings onto. So if I want to say I sing, the ending for the yo form, yo meaning I, is o. So I'm just going to put this ending on my stem. Yo canto. I sing. You sing. Tú cantas. She sings. Ella canta. We sing. Nosotros cantamos. They sing. Ellos or ellas, if it's a group of girls, cantan. It's just that easy. You just take off the AR and then tack on the ending of whoever your sentence is about. Carlos sings. Carlos is a he, so él canta. Carlos and Yolanda sing. Carlos and Yolanda together are they. Ellos cantan. So I hope this helps understand the basic concept of conjugation. It does take a lot of practice. It's not intuitive because it's not exactly the same way we do it in English. But with a lot of practice and context, using it in different situations to communicate things that matter to you, it'll get locked in. This chart is just a tool to help you as you internalize it. You can start out by memorizing, okay, I know I is yo, and yo is in the upper left part of the chart, and in the upper left part of the chart is the O ending, so that's the ending I'm going to use. That's a lot of steps. That takes a lot of time. Maybe that's how we're doing it right now here at the beginning, but as you practice more and more, it'll just become second nature. And you'll get there. You really can. I know you can. Gracias. Adios.